Before moving to Sweden, I have already lived abroad for half a year, and in this video, I really want to share my story how I ended up in Sweden and what helped me to adapt and integrate to Swedish life. Shortly, I moved here from Russia and I'm working as a front-end developer. That's why I moved and was able to find a job here, and it was in January 2022 when we moved with my partner. And yeah, I knew about Sweden. I always wanted to live in Europe because Russian politician situation and everything. I really didn't like their set of mind sometimes, and I find European, in general, especially Swedish mindset is very close to my own. And yeah, so that's why I ended up here in Sweden. And I think it was very important for me that previously I had experience of living in Poland, and that helped me to understand that Europe as we think about it in Russia, oh, there's some Europe, and it's in general it's something like this. It helped me to understand that every country is very different with its own mindset, with their own traditions for sure. But yeah, just the way people live in this country is very different as well. It's yeah, it's understandable, it's quite simple. So I got offer for job and we moved here with my partner. And actually, because I was living abroad for some time, I thought I quite prepared for this change in my life. But we had some struggles we faced, and the first one was when you go into new country, you're not quite sure about all this legal situation with papers, with banks, with documents and everything. So it was quite stressful and nervous to be staying in the lines for Skatteverket, for migration agency and everything. And yeah, and I really glad that our company helped us a lot with migration for sure, and with Skatteverket, because we had 8 weeks probably waiting for person numbers, and without person number we couldn't have opened a bank account and bank ID, and everything here connected with bank ID. So I was oh my gosh, how should we live here and everything. And when you get all these documents, your life become easier, much easier. And while we've been waiting for personal number, Russia started the war, and yeah, we had our bank cards banned, so we couldn't pay with our cards. And we were able to withdraw some money. And if you're not familiar with how it works in Sweden, but here it's very uncommon to use cash. And yeah, so it was we were able to just spend this money for grocery shopping, and in maybe 2 cafe or restaurants when we could pay with cash. And yeah, so it was very strange and nervous situation. Firstly, because it's you're worried about the war, and secondly, it's the life that's happening. And to be it's nice because we got a lot of understanding from colleagues, and they were worried how our families doing, how friends, how do we need any help because our bank accounts banned and everything. And yeah, that was very welcoming. Then new country, it's always you don't really know how much time everything usually takes. With our personal numbers, I was like, yeah, someone got their cards during like 2 weeks. For other people, it took a month, and then you're like, okay, I just waiting, and I don't know what like to do here. Um, I have no idea how I can like control it, and yeah, and as I said, without personal number, it's very difficult even to go to a hospital or to get the bank card. Um, yeah, but what really helped me with integration is my previous experience. Well, I've been studying in Poland for 6 months, and it was like, it helped me a lot with understanding that I will struggle finding new food, new restaurants and cafes I will like, or just like knowing the region where I'm living, or renting the apartment, and you're struggling in the first time just buying a ticket for transportation, just not knowing how to pay regular, like what's the process of paying regularly. Do you have just like the button you need to push? Do you need to have some subscriptions? And in Sweden, like there's aftergira, bangira, and like other words you don't understand when you see them at the first time. So yeah, it was very like you felt unsafe for the most of time, like unsecure probably, because you're like, oh, am I doing it right? Or like, what if it's something wrong with it? Or for me, it was also very surprisingly that when I went to Poland, I found out that bank transferring money with the bank, it's not immediately. It takes several days, especially if you send in money on Friday. You cannot expect them to be on Friday or on Sunday or Saturday. It's like the money will arrive on Monday. And I was like, wow, that's weird, because what we used in Russian fintech is very different. We had the system like Swish here in Sweden, so it's immediate, but you cannot use Swish if you don't have personal number and bank ID. Here we go again. So trying to understand the difficulties, like, oh, when you go to grocery shopping and you expecting to buy pickles, for instance, and you find out then at home that the pickles you bought is like cucumbers in very sugary water, and like, yeah, this is very weird, but it wasn't like what I expected it to be. And this is fine because this is new country, new culture and everything. But when you just move in, I think it frustrates you sometimes, because you need this like confidentiality, confidence. You need some confidence while you live in and you finding out a new life here. And yeah, so, and my experience with living abroad for some time helped me to be ready for new culture and to be ready for understanding like differences, how people think about a lot of stuff and everything. And I'm really glad that when we moved to Sweden, I was like very aligned with norms, I think, and the mindset here, because I was like, oh, the gender equality, the tolerance, LGBT community, and everything looked very good compared to other European countries. Not all European countries, again, like I'm generalizing it here, but like when I've been to Poland, it was a lot of marches against abortion and everything, and I was like, this is not really the country I wanna live for like a long time probably. I still really love the country, but it's again the political stuff I was trying to escape, because like yeah, in Russia we have quite similar sense like in government of traditional values, family values and everything. So yeah, I was like, okay, Sweden is very nice, and I think it really suits me and my family, my partner. And yeah, so, and I also traveled a lot, and I'm traveling a lot now, so it's also some kind of like readiness for new culture, and you're in position like kind of explore. And yeah, I think this is what really helps, is to be not very serious about your life probably, but just be very curious what's happening around you. And yes, I think this is the attitude itself to the life and the struggles very helps. It's like, oh yeah, I just need to find like the way how to solve it. It's nothing big. And for sure I can tell that finding a new social circle is very important. And I've been looking for people who already living here in Gothenburg. For instance, it was like Russian speakers, and I was connecting to them and like, oh hello, I'm going to Sweden, can you please like tell me how this is, or this is works and everything. Because when you communicating with other experts, it helps, because they were always like did the same or quite the same path you do now. So yeah, and I have YouTube channel in Russian, I have social media like Instagram as well, and it helped me a lot to find new people, and also like international girls gone internationally or something, or girls gone internationally. Groups like this also very helpful to find new people. And we also had internationals like meetings. It's like every Tuesday here in Gothenburg, I think. And yeah, this is like, you can find new people, you can find people who want to be social as well. So yeah, and the other thing I need to mention is, if you also have experience living abroad because of studying, or like summer schools or Erasmus, it's very different from moving out because of work. Like yeah, it's just not the age speaking, but also the activities you're doing. When you move in because of work, you just move to work, you move in, and like you going to the office and having chat with your colleagues, and then colleagues goes home because they have their own family and friends, because they lived here forever. And when you in university, it's usually there are some activities, or if you're Erasmus student, you have activities with Erasmus people. And like first or second grade is usually tend to like gather people and make them to communicate, to like network and everything. And when you're like adult, no one really does it for you, so you need to find your own ways how to find out people. And yeah, so this was like a very mature part of moving to new country. Because when I was like in summer school or in Poland for the 6 months program, I was like, yeah, this is cool, because I have so many opportunities to reach new people. And when I was like my first month here, I was like, okay, I need to sit down and try to understand what groups, what channels I should use to find people who are living here. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. And if you have a story how you ended up in a new country and how it was for you, you can share it in the comments. I would be really glad to read it. And also, if you like my videos, I have a video about health and how it was improved in Sweden. And yeah, see you. Puss puss.